Hello and welcome. Today we dive into an exciting math session where we tackle four critical questions step by step with the clarity and precision of a veteran mathematics teacher, Mr. TK Midhamu. Grab your notebooks and let's make maths simple and enjoyable. The first question is solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 7x plus 10 is equal to 0 by factoring. To solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals 0 by factoring, follow the following steps. Step number 1 is you identify the coefficients. The equation is in the form The equation is in the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a equals 1, b equals 7, and c equals 10. Step 2. Find two numbers whose product is ac equals 10 and the sum is b equals 7. The two numbers are 5 and 2 because 5 times 2 is equal to 10 and 5 plus 2 is equal to 7. Number 3, write the middle term 7x as a sum of 5x and 2x, the two numbers you identified. So you split the middle term bx, which is in our case is 7x, into the two numbers you have identified, which will give you the product and which will give you the sum. And therefore we split 7x into 5x plus 2x so that the equation becomes x squared plus 5x plus 20x plus 2x, x squared plus 5x plus 2x plus 10 is equal to 0. To solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals 0 by factoring, follow these steps. Number 4, remember we have already done number 3. Factorize by grouping. Group the terms to factor out the common factors. X squared plus 5x plus 2x plus 10 is equal to 0. So we have grouped the first two terms and the second two terms after we splitted the middle term. And this implies that when you factor, the first part will be x times x plus 5 plus 2 times x plus 5 is equal to 0. You discover that you get a common factor after factorizing, and this common factor now, you factorize it further so that you have x plus 5, then you are left with x plus 2 is equal to 0. So what we have done is we have factored out the common binomial factor, x plus 5. 6. Solve for x. Set each factor to 0. So x plus 5 is equal to 0 implies that x is equal to negative 5, and x plus 2 is equal to 0 implies that x is equal to negative 2. And therefore, the final answer for this quadratic equation is x equals negative 5 and x equals negative 2. It has two answers because it is a quadratic equation. The next question is this. So we are through with the factoring method now. We come now to using the quadratic formula. So our question is this. Solve the quadratic equation 3x squared minus 5x plus 2 is equal to 0 using the quadratic formula. To solve the quadratic equation 3x squared minus 5x plus 2 is equal to 0 using the quadratic formula, follow these steps. The quadratic formula is x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Here, a, b, and c are coefficients from the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Step number 1, identify the coefficients from the equation 3x squared minus 5x plus 2 is equal to 0. A equals 3, b equals negative 5, and c equals 2. Step 2, you substitute into the formula. Substitute a equals 3, b equals negative 5, and c equals 2 into the quadratic formula, and therefore you get the expression, or the answer for x you get is x equals negative 5 plus or minus negative 5 squared minus 4, 3 times 2 over 2 times 3. After replacing a, b, and c in the formula. Step 3, simplify the numerator. That part which is negative 5 becomes 5 because negative followed by negative or negative times negative is positive. Simplify under the square root. Negative 5 squared is equal to 25, and then 4 times 3 times 2 is equal to 24. So b squared minus 4ac is equal to 25 minus 24 equals 1. Take the square root. Square root of 1 is 1. And then number 4, simplify the denominator. 2 times 3, which is equal to 6. Step 4, write the two equations. X equals 5 plus or minus 1 over 6. Case 1, where you take the positive side, is x equals 5 plus 1 over 6, which will simplify to x is equal to 6 over 6, which is equal to 1. Case 2 is when you take the negative, x is equal to 5 minus 1 over 6, x is equal to 4 over 6, which is equal to 2 over 3. So the final answer, the solutions are x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2 over 3. Remember I said the quadratic equations have got two values of x. Question number 3. To solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0 by completing the square. To solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0 by completing the square, follow these steps. Number 1, move the constant term to the right side. So you start with x squared plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0, so that you add 5 to both sides. The result is x squared plus 4x is equal to 5. Complete the square is step number 2. By take half of the coefficient of x, square it, and add it to both sides. The coefficient of x is 4. So 4 or half of 4 squared is equal to 2 squared is equal to 4. Add 4 to both sides. X squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 5 plus 4. Now, x squared plus 4x plus 4 is a perfect square whose binomial factors are x plus 2 and x plus 2. Therefore, the expression simplifies to x plus 2 squared is equal to 9. Step 3, solve for x. Take the square root of both sides. So we have x plus 2 is equal to plus or negative root 9, which is x plus 2 is equal to plus or minus 3, because the square root of 9 is 3. Like the two solutions, when x plus 2 is equal to 3, x equals 3 minus 2, which is equal to 1. And when x plus 2 is equal to negative 3, x equals negative 3 minus 2 equals negative 5. So the final answer for the equation, by using the completing the square method, are x equals 1 and x is equal to negative 5. Finally, our last equation, we are going to do graphical or the graphing. We want to graph a quadratic equation. So in graphing of the quadratic y equals x squared plus 2x minus 8, we will follow these steps. Step number 1 is you rewrite the equation in vertex form. The vertex form of a quadratic equation is y equals ax minus h squared plus k, where k is the vertex of the parabola formed. Next, complete the square. Start with y equals to x squared plus 2x minus 8. Number 1, factor out 1 from x squared and x terms, so that you have y equals x squared plus 2x. So 1 is out of the brackets, which is equal to 8. Y equals x squared plus 2x. You have factored 1 out and then minus 8. Take half the coefficient of x, which is 2, square it and add it inside the parenthesis. And half of the coefficient of x is 2 over 2, or 2 times a half squared is equal to 1. And subtract 1 inside the parenthesis, so that you have y is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 1. And subtract. Number 4, Rewrite the trinomial as a square, and you find that y equals x plus 1 squared minus 1, because when you added and subtracted 1, you formed a perfect square whose binomial factor is x plus 1, and that one is now becoming to x plus 1 squared minus 1. Okay, the one you had introduced, minus 8. So for simplify y equals x plus 1 squared minus 9, because now negative 1 minus 8 is equal to negative 9. Thus, the equation in the vertex form is y is equal to x plus 1 squared minus 9. You see how we cleverly introduce something to solve a problem in mathematics, introducing 1 and subtracting 1. Number 2, identify the vertex. From the vertex form, y equals x plus 1 squared minus 9, the vertex is negative 1, negative 9, which I will explain very soon. 3, identify the y-intercept. The y-intercept occurs when x equals 0. Substitute x equals 0 into the original equation. You get y equals 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 8 is equal to minus 8, and therefore the y-intercept is 0, negative 8. To determine the vertex. To determine the vertex, which I have said I will come to earlier, from the vertex form of the quadratic equation, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k, we use the following steps. The first step is you identify the vertex form components. H, the horizontal shift x coordinate of the vertex. Note that h is opposite in sign to what appears in the equation. In our case here, h was positive, and so the opposite of positive is negative. K, the vertical shift y coordinate of the vertex. 2. Extract h and k from the equation. In the given equation, y is equal to x plus 1 squared minus 9. X plus 1 implies h is equal to negative 1. All right? Change the sign, because you change the sign to conform with the standard vertex form. And k is equal to negative 9 as it appears. The vertex is hk, which is equal to negative 1, negative 9. The vertex represents the lowest or highest point of the parabola depending on the value of a. If a is greater than 0, the parabola opens upwards and the vertex is the minimum point. If a is less than 0, the parabola opens downwards and the vertex is the maximum point. For y equals x minus 1 squared minus 9, the parabola opens upwards because the coefficient of x minus 1 squared is positive. The vertex is therefore the lowest point of the graph, located at negative 1, negative 9. Graph of y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 1. We are now in the last step here where we plot key points to guide us on the shape of the parabola. To graph the parabola, choose a few x values around the vertex and calculate their corresponding y values. And if x is negative 3, y will be 1. X is negative 2, y will be negative 4. How are we doing this? For example, if x is negative 1, in that equation there, I'll have y is equal to 1 squared, negative 1 squared, plus 2 times negative 1 minus 8, and the answer is going to be negative 9. If x is 0, then y will be 0 squared plus 2 times 0, or 0 squared, 0 plus 0 minus 8 is negative 8. And therefore, if x is 1, y is negative 3, and if x is 2, y is 4. So we use these values to guide us on the shape of the parabola. Sketch the graph. So when sketching, you first plot the vertex, negative 1, negative 9. Then plot the y-intercept, 0, negative 8. And then you plot the other points from the table above. And then you draw a smooth parabola opening upwards. And summary, the vertex is negative 1, negative 9, and the y-intercept is 0, negative 8. And there is your graph. As the way the graph looks like, you can see the apex, all right? You can see the y-intercept at 0, negative 8, and the vertex at negative 1, negative 9. And then you can see the other points plotted, like we have negative 4, negative 4, 0, and then we have there where it is cutting the x-axis, the other point is 2, 0. All right. So you sketch those points and you get a very good curve. So thanks for joining me on this mathematical journey. Remember, maths is not just about solving problems, but understanding them. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe for more lessons. Keep practicing. I'll see you in the next video. Credits, content and presentation, Mr. Medhamuti K. Special thanks, credits, assistance by ChatGPT, inspired by NEC questions. And then for the graph, go to the website www.desmos.com to get that graph. Goodbye, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel as I told you in my closing remarks.